Professor exposes pretentious leftist star in front of his own audience. Probably. What the hell? Oh, this is old. This is from 2 days ago. Vaush is the perfect example of thinking you're far more intelligent than you actually are. Yeah, probably. What the hell is this?
This is an absolute masterclass. It's one of the best demonstrations of how to dismantle postmodern thinking I've ever seen. Vaush is a predominant left-wing YouTuber.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
He brings on...
It's not drama because I don't know this guy. I just want to know... I don't know what the hell this is.
This professor, he didn't realize he has a PhD in philosophy. He's absolutely outmatched here.
You said all of these views...
Hold on. Let me time and place this, okay? This was just after I moved to Seattle. So this is like 5 years ago. Video several years late. I don't remember this person. This is old. I mean, I know it's old. Look at the guy. Look at me. I know it's old. I don't remember this though.
Are incoherent. You said there's no coherent concept of gender. Is that right? Did I get you right there?
You will not find me a definition of gender that is one. Oh God, I am pretentious. You will not find me. It's insufferable. Well, we're stuck with it. 100% consistent and all-encompassing and has no flaws in it. There are no such things. That's true though. That is true though. Oh no, this is gonna hurt. Hey, listen, live with it, buddy. You want to go back and watch like video clips of how you acted in high school? Well, I wasn't in high school here, but you understand the point. Was this the agua debate? You all know I was completely correct in that, right? My wonderful Spanish pronunciation aside. If I remember correctly, the argument was about whether or not you could have a coherent definition of gender. And then he was making an argument for how there was a kind of like unifying or historically accepted definition. And I said, well, the definition of a given word is going to change depending on the culture that uses it, for one. Like, two words that are translated to mean the same thing in different languages don't necessarily refer to exactly the same concept, you know? It's kind of like how like the word blue in English might correspond to a word in Russian that refers to a similar range of color, but a Russian speaker might use it to describe different colors than an English speaker. And it's like, yeah, they both mean blue, but when you think of blue, you're thinking here, and when they think of blue, they're thinking here. It's why there's no such thing as a perfect translation. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I want to see me get owned.
So,
it can't be found.
He has no idea what he's getting into. He doesn't know who this guy is. And
this is so correct that it remains the case till this day.
he quickly finds himself absolutely overwhelmed.
Okay, so then it sounds like your view entails there are no women, because there's no true definition of woman.
No, not at all. Right? There are plenty of... I'll let me take it away. Social constructions that I think have meaning and serve utility, even if there are no consistencies to it.
This goes so badly for him, it has become famous.
What was wrong with that? That's true. Just because there's no single coherent definition of a term doesn't mean that nothing gets defined as that term. This is like the classic, define a chair argument. Well, I think chairs exist. I just don't think you could find a single coherent definition for all of them.
It is known today as the trans water debate, and you will see why. He uses a simple question about H2O to demonstrate how nonsensical this postmodern thinking is.
You gave the example.
I do think it is a little bit funny that this opens with calling me pretentious when he's literally talking in this vocal fry in front of a bunch of books stacked haphazardly behind him. You know, it's kind of like, I don't know, pot calling the kettle.
One of your arguments against the biological definition of woman was that we didn't know about chromosomes many years ago. Well, first of all, I don't think biological sex is defined in terms of chromosomes. But let's
tell that to your side.
Just use the example of water. Maybe we could agree that water is H2O. That was true even before we knew about chemistry. That was the definition of water before anybody knew anything about chemistry, before we knew about H2O. Back when Aristotle thought water was just an element. Nevertheless, it was H2O.
True. So So the interesting, so for one, this actually isn't true, because unless you have the definition of water being H2O, like you understand how the molecules, the atoms work, would you still call a bottle that is full of something full of water if it's not entirely 100% composed of H2O? Like, what if 1% of the content of the bottle is something else, another clear liquid? You know what I mean? When you get into this like taxonomy stuff where you start asking what do definitions actually mean? Yeah, what about mineral water? Is mineral water mineral water? You know, tap water has like fluoride and other bullshit. You know, hard mineral deposits in it. What about sparkling water? Well, people call it water. Would people consider sparkling water to be water? I know this sounds dumb, but it's a real thing. Like, would you consider mineral water or sparkling water to be bottles of water, even if they're not 100% H2O? Is it possible then that the term water can refer to things that aren't exclusively H2O? You know? A lot of people would, and in a social contemporary sense, we often refer to things as being water, even if they're not 100% H2O, like a river. Like a flowing river isn't 100% water. There's sediment, there's minerals dissolved in the water. There's a bunch of shit like that. Now, obviously, but let's put the bullshit aside, you know? We can set all that aside and we can say, okay, but bullshit aside, we know that chemically water is H2O, right? Yeah, chemically. But socially, water refers to like a wider range of thing than the chemical definition, and that's the issue with taxonomy. That's the issue with definitions, you know? Ice is still water. I don't know, is it? I thought ice was ice. Ice is water chemically. It's still the H2O, but if you said which one is more water, this ice cube or this bottle full of mineral water, even though the ice is 100% H2O, you get what I mean, right? Anyway, I know some of you people are going to want to be contrarian, but this is what I remember. And this is why I don't argue with the trans shit anymore, because as far as I'm concerned, if you can't understand what I'm talking about right now, you're a retard and you don't really have a right to speak in the issue. Why the fuck am I going to take seriously your positions on something as complicated as like, socially determined taxonomy and social constructivism if you can't even understand that no, the words that we use to describe things don't always empirically refer to the exact same thing all of the time. You idiot. You know this. You know this, like, in your conventional day-to-day life. Your experiences disprove the argument you're making. Yeah, you get it. Fuck ice? Fuck ice. Anyway, what are we on about?
I'm sorry?
This isn't true.
That water has not always been H2O?
Yeah, all you have to do is cross the Mexican border. And over there, it's aqua. True.
Talking about the physical reality of water. And in Mexico, they would have their own way to articulate that water is H2O, therefore water is H2O.
Aqua means water. Aqua is water.
It's a different term.
Actually, it's agua. It's not aqua, right?
And we're referring to terms and definitions here.
No, I'm referring to water, the stuff that fills lakes and rivers.
The stuff that not agua. Many things fill lakes and rivers.
Okay. Do you honestly not know what I mean when I talk about water, or are you just being a little difficult?
I think you made a mistake before you began that argument, which is that you said just because people didn't always know something doesn't mean that it can't be true. But that can't be the case when we're talking about definitions.
What do we use language for?
Hold on. This guy isn't even like letting the argument play out. I'm trying to... I'm not going back and watching my own videos. I'm trying to refresh myself in the context of the debate. This guy keeps interrupting the debate. What are you adding to it? Clip Andy? All this guy's adding to it is he's popping in every 15 seconds to say, that was epic, bros. Check out this next part. Yeah, you're content stealing. I should DMCA this fucking video. No, I'm not going to.
Or we use it to actually map onto the fabric of reality. Otherwise, we would not be able to communicate anything real.
Why would he bother making this? Well, it got 500,000 views. This does make me feel good, though, because it does speak to my popularity. People want to see me get taken down, even if it means going back 5 years to find an example of people misunderstanding my arguments. I will say, though, a lot of people in my own community misrepresented me after this debate. It took quite a while before you guys understood the point. Even though I reaffirmed it several times immediately after the debate, I am better at explaining myself now, though, than I used to be. So maybe that's my fault. They all got hung up in the Spanish. The Spanish part was the fun part. You guys don't like, you don't like, I don't want to say it's a joke because the argument works, you know, it's more like a silly way of phrasing it.
Do you not think water is H2O?
But I think we've come up with a term to describe what we refer to as water. There are, of course, other cultures that have had.
I agree with you. We came up with a term to talk about water.
Right.
That term is water.
They're talking about what I just talked about with you guys. How social. Well, I'm talking about it in the older video. The guy, the other guy, does no idea what we're talking about. But you understand what I mean, right? With the definition of water being a kind of social net that is cast a lot wider than just what is chemically H2O. Is that a drop of water on your table right there? I don't know. I haven't molecularly examined it to make sure that every single molecule, etc., you get it. That's the reason why being pedantic about definitions always ends in a recursive loop, where you just start arguing about what people are referring to when they use the words they do. All language is encoding, you know? We don't have a way to directly transfer thoughts that are pure and like mathematically proofed, you know? We have to funnel everything through the social language of language. And as a consequence, meaning is often lost, which is why people miscommunicate.
And we came up with terms to talk about hydrogen and oxygen. But here's a sentence. Water is H2O. You know what those terms mean. Now think about what idea is expressed by the words. What's the thought that's expressed? We could express it in many different languages. Now think about the thought that's expressed by that sentence. That's true, isn't it? The thought that
Vaush, your Hail Mary is a kind of nothing means anything argument that says all language is socially constructed. All language is socially constructed. Do you think we discovered words in like the ground? Do you think we unearthed? What are you talking about? Yeah, of course. But that doesn't mean nothing means anything. It just means it's socially constructed. In my opinion, I think one of the reasons why why conservatives so often fall back on this anti-scientific innate understanding of the way language works is because it better suits their lower IQs. I mean that. Like they take comfort in and solace in the stability of believing that the words they use refer to innate universal characteristics. Like the idea that all of this is just a mutually negotiated social language where we're gesturing at concepts and ideas, but very rarely perfectly defining them, that makes them feel uncomfortable and insecure. Hence all the bullshit with trans people. They freak out over it. You can't change definition. For one, you can't. Actually, that's all definitions were created arbitrarily at some point or another. But also, what does the definition even refer to? It certainly wasn't referring to, like chromosome batches beforehand. That's the reason why I said that gender couldn't have always referred to chromosomes, because we didn't used to think chromosomes were a thing. What were people using to determine beforehand, before we could observe a person's, chromosomes or their sexual characteristics directly? I mean, I don't know about you guys. I don't observe many people's sexual characteristics directly when I'm going on outside. Usually I just see like their hands and faces and stuff. So we usually have to refer to a broader set of socially informed data points, you know? I always check. Okay, well, maybe you always check the genitalia, you know? What is this? This guy got fired from his teaching job? Oh, did you dig up lore on this guy? Wait, this one or the guy who's hosting the video? Smith? The guy who's hosting the video? Okay, gotcha. I guess that tracks, yeah.
is expressed by the sentences. Water is H2O.
What do you think?
And it was long before we got here, long before humans got here. Water has always been H2O.
Well, so obviously this is an incoherent argument. How could water have meant H2O when the word water, as like the term water, was invented and applied by people who didn't know what molecules were? You know, it's just incoherent. It doesn't make any sense at all. So what they magically innately intuited a definition based on a molecular conception they didn't yet know. I think they just thought water was the clear thing that didn't really have much of a taste or smell. It was the stuff that was in rivers. Well, ice, of course, is also H2O, but water is what we define it as within a given, state.
Ice is also water. It's not liquid water.
And this is
it's not liquid water, it's solid water. But if the person asked for a glass of water and you gave them a glass full of ice cubes, right? It's almost as though when people say water, they're actually referring to a wider range of definitions, and the full social meaning is not captured entirely by the H2O definition. It's fascinating. How interesting. It's no wonder I got tired of debates when this was the caliber of shit that was being thrown my way. Jesus Christ.
Where it gets embarrassing. This is the clip that has gone viral.
You might say, wait, I thought the clip was the agua one. Isn't that the viral one? It's this loser Lamau. Teacher famous for critical thinking, belatedly fired by school. Critical thinking video. Video recorded convo with an unnamed student went viral back in February 2024. Oh, is he just like a recently famous, washed up former academic film school kind of guy? Is that's it? Wow, he has a beef with trans people. Got retweeted by J.K. Rowling. Okay, yeah, it's just uninteresting stuff. Failed artist, It's trans water. A bit of a difference, but fundamentally very similar. Wait, what am I saying?
It's not liquid water.
And this is where it gets embarrassing. This is the clip that has gone viral.
You might say it's trans water. A bit of a difference, but fundamentally very similar.
Okay. So you're resisting me on the claim that water is...
That's it? I thought the agua clip was the viral one.
H2O. Let me try a different one.
I'm resisting you on definitional prescriptivism. I think that we have...
I'm not prescribing any definitions. I'm just saying water.
So fake that was about heavy water? Was I talking about heavy water here? How it's still referred to as water, but heavy water is chemically different? Yeah, I think he is clipping out of context here. How is his channel? His channel's doing well, clearly. What's the drive to go clipping like old content like this? Oh, I guess it looks like he might just be going through everything right now. Okay, it's just a content slop channel. It's just, yeah, okay. There's not actually like a drive or an idea here. It's just, it's also samey. I didn't even know about this guy. Who was the chatter who linked this to me? Are you gonna respond? Holy shit, all these channels are the same? Yeah, well, they all appeal to the exact same person, And they all kind of like tick up and tick down. Andrew Wilson causes leftist teacher to flee mid-debate and now she is suing. That's very funny. Wait, is this the conversation where the woman was like, your wife has mothered multiple children before she married you. You've had multiple wives before. Is this that one? The one where literally everyone on the internet agreed that Wilson looked like a insecure jackass? That's the conversation where he's trying to frame. I bet he doesn't even show that clip in the video. Oh, same guy, different girl. Okay, all women look the same to me. My apologies. Well, hold on. So far, have I said anything incorrect here? I think I'm pretty much nailing it, even with all the out-of-context stuff.
Water is H2O, true or false? And it sounds like you're reluctant to say true.
No, I agree. I agree that water, and we refer to H2O as water, colloquially. Yeah, of course. I'm fine with that.
So water is H2O. Yeah. And it was H2O long before humans came along.
But water wasn't the concept back then.
I know, but nevertheless, water...
What? This guy is so fucking dumb, man. Water has always referred to H2O, even before humans came around. Well, water as a concept didn't exist because it's a human concept. Yeah, well, nevertheless. This guy is a professor? Well, probably not. They all say they're professors, but it's usually like they got washed out of academia because they, you know, creeped on a TA or something, and they still call themselves a professor to give their YouTube videos more credence.
Water was there.
Even before the word molecule was invented, molecules existed.
Actually, water's
Yeah, but the concept of a molecule didn't, because it's a conception by humans. So the molecules existed, but not the concept or the definition of one, because we created those.
never been a concept. Water's always been a molecule.
Well,
we have a concept of water, but the concept is not itself water.
Vaush is just talking about.
wait, did he? I don't remember this from the debate. Didn't he just agree with me? We have a concept of water, but the concept is not itself water, i.e. the conception and the reality is different. Or in other words, definitions don't map perfectly onto reality. They rather express like a human conceptualization of reality, which might not perfectly map onto natural taxonomy. He just agreed with my argument. All right. Yeah, the map is not the territory. You can draw a map with infinite complexity until the map of the territory is a one-to-one representation of the territory, but the territory remains different from the map. Call him back up. Dude, he's fucking old. He might be dead now.
Language, the social construct of language. This professor is talking about the fabric of reality. And postmodernists just dismiss the fabric of reality entirely, as you're seeing here.
These are socially. That's not what I'm doing. I'm saying it's distinct from the definitions that we use to describe it. This shit is so like obvious to me. Not to say like I'm crazy smart or anything. I just think that conservatism rots your ability to understand the world. It's pretty rough. That's not what postmodernism is. Expecting a conservative to understand what postmodernism is genuinely not. We're so far from that, you know? Constructed. After all, you just said it's still fundamentally water, but we're talking about a different molecular shape. Now, that's because you've arbitrarily branched these two within a category that because there's a relationship between them. But that's a social phenomena. Mm-hmm. The universe doesn't give a shit whether you refer to heavy water as water or some other, molecule entirely. It's utterly indifferent to your perception of reality. Exactly.
That is the entire point here. Your categorizations or definitions, they're going to either be valid or invalid.
Legitimate. This again. I'm sorry. I understand this comes across as conceited, but I don't think these people are worth talking to. They legitimately have no fucking idea what they're agreeing or not agreeing with. They will switch between agreeing with my position and not agreeing because they don't I don't understand how they don't choke on their own saliva every day. I don't know how they remember to take their pants off before taking a shit. It's beneath me, frankly. Did he not just agree with you? Yes, he did. He did agree with my position. He has no idea. No idea. Anyway, I'm bored of this. You know what? I have never gone back and looked at this debate after having it. And people after have since many times tried to gaslight me into believing that I erred here. Even framed uncharitably, everything here I'm saying is correct. I think that my delivery of the point is a little bit less coherent than it would be if I was delivering it now. I think I'm better at speaking now than I used to be, but honestly, I'm gonna be conceited over here. I'm gonna be a jackass. My head is inflating with hot air. No, my delivery was more pretentious, and I've worked on that. I mean, the delivery doesn't necessarily model the intent, right? I wasn't trying to be pretentious. It's just, man, how could you not be pretentious when you're talking to people like this? There's basically no way to have conversations with people like this without like, come on, stop talking down to me. Well, then stop being lower than me. Sheesh. That's pretty good, though. Vaush is pretentious. What an actual idiot. Water's H2O, but if you go to Mexico, it's agua, so it wasn't always H2O. I didn't say water's H2O. I just said that was one of the many things wrapped in its definition. Most leftist discourse is pretending to not understand things. Projection. Many things fill lakes and rivers as the essence of a bad faith argument. No, it's not. What flows through a river? Water. What about the non-water things in the river? Is that part of the water? No. Okay, then when a person points at a lake or a river and says that's water, are they lying because there are things in the water? What percentage of a body of water needs to not be H2O before they're lying when they say it's water? What if it's 0.05% sediment? What if a person gave you a bottle that was 0.1% cyanide and 99.9% water? Would you be lying if they were like, hey, give me some water, please, and you gave them that and then they drank it and died? I'd drink it. I bet cyanide tastes yummy as hell for the first couple of seconds. These are all, look, it's just, definitions are complicated. Stay in the kiddie pool. There's water there. All this bullshit just to deny trans people rights. Yeah, I guess I just wish they would admit they don't like trans people because they were told not to. They were told they're icky, rather than like pretending to understand other concepts. You know what I mean? Hold on. When this gets put on the main channel, editors, can this be the title? Can we just cop the title since he copped the entire video? I mean, he did the content stealing, right? What Professor exposes Vaush in front of his own audience. You don't need to say pretentious leftist star because people who watch my channel will already know that's me. You know? They already know who that's referring to. Oh God, he's calling himself the Secret Scholar Society. Well, they all do that, right? All conservative academics describe themselves as like, you know, maverick dark intelligences, you know, like dark academia, dark intellectualism, with the secrets the media doesn't want you to know. And the secrets usually are just, make sure to like and subscribe. I still think debating anti-trans people on the ground that genders are taxonomic descriptions is kind of ceding the point. Well, it's not that gender is a taxonomic description because all definitions are taxonomy by definition, which is itself a taxonomy. But it's not ceding the point. Look, my position, I guess, is I have never once met a conservative who wanted to debate taxonomy, who was either arguing in good faith or who understood enough about the world to make the arguments they wanted to make. They never have. You know what I mean? It would be like if you were talking to a hick racist from West Virginia, like just some 63 IQ, you know, inbred fuck, alcoholic, child rapist, whatever, and he hates black people, and then when he debates you on it, he starts pretending to understand genetics. Like he's just slurring his way through the arguments. He's like, the haplogroups, well, and you know, like you don't understand any of this. You're pretending to argue with me. You just hate black people because you hate black people. Like, stop wasting our time. They do that. No, they have. That's the whole point of scientific racism. It's dressing up common bigotry, you know? And that's kind of how you know, transphobia tends to take shape as well, right? It's not like these people have a good fucking reason. The only good reason to be transphobic is if you get annoyed by them on Twitter, which is fair, but you usually have to be in their social spaces to do that. Dog girl this, dog girl that, pits this. Ooh, I sleep in a cage. Ooh, I want a bed that has a raised edge to the sheet so that I'm in like a bowl. Okay, we get it. I'm transphobic now.